scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. What if it breaks again? Guys, I'm freaking scared right now. I'm really scared that it's gonna crash again. Oh my gosh, I'm scared. Guys, okay, the live was on purpose. I literally went live, I was so excited, I got everything set up, my music was playing, everything was fine. And then as soon as I click start, guys, boom, my computer turns off, starts updating. I'm texting Doodler and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Never had this happen before. And so I'm sitting here as I'm like watching my computer slowly update. I'm like, is that my Wi-Fi like at my mom's house just like that bad? Like, am I never gonna be able to go live during the summers now? Because this is why I haven't gone live, guys, because of this. Of this. No other reasons that I've talked about on Tumblr. No other possible reasons. Thank you, Maxie. Is my audio okay? Is like my audio glitching out? Because that shows signs of bad Wi-Fi. I'm scared of like playing the music and then like everything breaks because my computer can't handle it. This is very frightening. Please, please work. Please, 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 please. Let me just do a drawing stream, please. I've been wanting to go live. And I've been so nervous about going live too. And I was like, oh, it'll be fine. Nothing's gonna happen. It's just like it's always like it usually is. Nope. Let me make sure that my how is everybody? Yeah, we're gonna have that as the title. Just in case, you know. Because it might die again. Who fucking knows? It's saying it's excellent, so maybe we can turn on the music. Should we try? Should we give it a go? Should we just be a little dangerous? I got a popsicle while you were dying. Is it good? There might be a big delay, by the way. Don't be surprised if I read your message, like, really late. How is everybody? What are we up to? Does my music just sound really bad? Oh, that's really fun. Yeah! It's just starting and stopping. That's really beautiful. Yes! Yes! Wait, no way. Is it the music? Guys, I can't play music because it'll literally like break. I'm so sorry. I just started playing music and it was like this live is gonna go down. Is it still up? What the heck? What the heck? I'm still okay. I don't think I can play music. Wonderful! Okay. It'll just be my wonderful voice and my beautiful fan in the background. It's still up for now. As soon as I switch it over to like my stream, it's gonna break. Watch. Let's see. Are we okay? Oh, are we good? Are we all right? Hi, Void. It's okay. We will live without music. I won't get copyrighted. Oops. Okay, this was not a stream problem. This is a me problem. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to connect my phone to the thingy, to the Wi-Fi now, so I can look at the stream chat. Who's this little guy? Who is that? Who is that? When it goes into a black screen, it's not the Wi-Fi's problem, it's my problem because I'm screen sharing on Discord on another application. So whenever I get out of the Discord application, it'll just go black. So that's on me. That's fine. Longtime viewers, they're used to this. Yeah. Music is gonna be a no-go, so sorry. Welcome, Mochi! The mysterious drawing. So I drew this last night, for context, and I couldn't remember that I drew this little thing. So I wake up in my... Oh wait, I think I'm super zoomed in so you wouldn't be able to see, but I wake up and the little thing is just there. And I'm just like, who's that little fella? Who was that? I don't remember drawing that. So that's what we're working with today. This is the vibe. Oh, I haven't been live in so long. I feel so awkward. I feel so awkward. My sister has people over. So if you hear any background noise, there's also that. Can it stop doing that thing? Oh my god, hold on. I'm trying to mess with the music again to see if maybe, just maybe, it'll let me. It's a risky thing to do. But I want music. I won't be able to focus otherwise. Okay. Nope. Uh-uh. I cannot. I can't. I can't play the music. I'm so sorry, chat. I tried. It did not want to do that. It did not want to work for me. So, no music. That's okay, we will live. Every time I do it, it's like, this live is gonna end soon because it has no data. So, uh-oh. Yes, it is a solo stream. I'm gonna be trying to do more solo streams. Okay. Alright, let me get my chat set up. Happy 10K, by the way, guys. Isn't that exciting? We're almost at, like, we just hit 10K, literally, what was it? It was in June. No, was it? I don't remember. It might have been in July because I might have been with my friends. So I don't remember. We are doing design work today. I have my two lovely moderators. They're multiplying. Look at them go. This is supposed to be Dream. It was July. Yes, it was July. In case you guys didn't know, I went to go see some friends recently. That live stream is not up anymore. But if you remember Gray Skies and Ink, Drink creator, they write fanfiction about drink on AO3. Really cool person. I went to their house, and then I also got to see Bone Zone JPEG, otherwise known as Aki. I've talked about Aki a lot. What would Aki be known for? They made the Underfell information doc. That's what he did. I saw them, and then I saw Barnacle, and we went on a little trip together. I got to go see them. It was really, really fun. So that's how I spent the beginning of my July. I celebrated my birthday with them. Guess who's 20 years old now? Oh, it feels so awkward not having music in the background. I'm not used to this. Okay. The little guy. Let's see. If Barnacle didn't let me name her chickens. They already had names, so that's why. Me next year when I turn 20. Oh my god, don't make me stop. I'm the oldest person in the room. That's terrifying. If I play it on another tab, would it be as bad? Let's see. It's supposed to be black screen, guys. We're gonna try it here, though. Please don't die, please don't die, please don't die. I think it's working? I think. I'm gonna have to turn it down a lot. I think it's okay. I think it's working. I think it's working. Oh, it's glitching! It's glitching! That's fine. Okay, it's not doing terrible. We will survive. Here we go. Here we go. It'll be a bit glitchy, but we're gonna have to deal with it, I guess. It's better having music because it helps me focus. Let's see. I'm working on designs that makes Dream and Nightmare look more like tree spirit-like as kids. Glitchy just like Air Sense? Exactly! Exactly! You get it. I'm trying to think. My wife will be the end of me? I have no wife. That's not true, actually. I have Air Sans. I can't believe I just said that. Air Sans my wife. My dog's also in here. So, there's a lot going on today. I picked, like, probably the worst day to go live, but I probably wouldn't have gone live if I didn't do it today, because I would have, like, kept putting it off, and I need to go live. Hello, hello, welcome to the stream. Are you stealing arrow from me? Shut the fuck up. I was born first. Oh, this one's glitching a lot. It's fine. If we pretend it's not happening, then like it's not happening. We have a lot of new people. Hi, Monarch Moth. Hi, Akizan. What program do you use for your art? I use Clip Studio Paint for iPad. I cannot tell you the iPad that I use off the top of my head. It's in the description though. I think it's iPad 12.9 inch Pro. I've been gone on live for a while, so I haven't been able to get it off the top of my head. I'm slacking. So the first idea, this is a sketch I had the other day that was really cute, but I'm kind of wanting to change it up. But I'm wanting to see how it looks. I don't know if Procreate's really good. I used to use it. I just use Clip Studio now because it has just a lot more features. It is very expensive though, so if you would rather something that's like cheaper, Procreate all the way, guys. It's really good. Or Abyss Paint. Abyss Paint has a lot of brushes that are very similar to Clip Studio. Yeah, I don't know if I like how that top looks. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Let's skip the top for now, because I do like how I did the bottoms. Or I guess it's more of a skirt. Guys, Color Killer got married. Yes! Oh! Canonically, by the way. They are married. We didn't get to see their wedding, which I think is purposeful. But they are married. How cool is that? They got married! I'm so happy for them. Yeah, they got married! Well, they weren't. Apparently they've been married this whole time and we didn't know. They've been hiding, so Super Yoma and Raha Fwabas has been hiding like their rings under their gloves. And we didn't get to see their wedding. We don't know what their wedding was like, but apparently they've been married this whole time. Like, in like the ass vlog where like Killer gets out. So they're married. How cool is that? If I remember right, Color has a red ring, I think. And then Killer has a blue one? I don't remember. I always thought they were married. We didn't know yet, but now we do. How cool is that? I'm actually so happy that we have like a canonical like gay relationship in the fandom. Makes me so happy. And it's between like a gay man and a canonical like trans man. Because if you didn't know, Killer's also canonically trans. We don't know. I think he is why am I going blank? Gender fluid, but we don't know yet. It's just so beautiful. It makes me so happy. I've been shipping them for so long. And like I genuinely thought like they would never be canon. Because nobody knows fucking Like, well, no one did. For the longest time, no one knew who Color was. And I just loved them so much. And then they came back and now everyone knows who Color is. And they're just like, that's Killer's husband. It's so beautiful. When's Air Americana next? Hmm? Question mark? In my heart it is. I've been drawing so much Air Mirror. I'm so sorry, my followers who hate Sancest and are just here for like other content. Sodi is in class and says hi. Oh my god, hi Sodi! It's so funny that you say that as soon as like I'm talking about Airmare. It's like they knew. They knew. And also something else. Oh. I can take a guess. I can take a guess. Airmare is engraved in my brain. I hope that is partially my fault. It's just so good. Because, Dreamtale is basically fandom owned at this point, guys. It is basically fandom owned because someone who created them that shall not be named is not worthy of owning them. I would say Grace, Skies, and Ink should own Dreamtale, but the thing is they don't like Airmare, so I don't think Gray's allowed. I could own it. I'd make Airmare canon. Okay, this little part is peeving me off. You guys get to see like the anger behind the drawing. So it looks better when the legs aren't there. That's the name you can made Dreamtale? Well, how can I forget? You're right. What ship would Hatsune Miku ship? I think she'd be a drink lover. Hi, IDK! This is so sweet seeing everybody. Oh, I'm sorry I was gone for 4 freaking months. It was so evil of me. Me ignoring my stream and answering you in UT Rambles too. Like, IDK went through like 5 mental breakdowns and is now getting therapy soon. Everyone in my friend group is telling me to go back to therapy. So, therapy's really good, guys. Go to therapy. Even if you don't think you need it, go to therapy. IDK, I hope therapy's been going better. I hope it's been helping. Hello, Rosary. Rose? Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, I can't pronounce things. If Scarlett was here, she would verify. Aww. Okay, that works better. Yeah! What? That means I have to talk to you. That was my mindset. Oh, I'm sorry, IDK. I know how that goes. Rose Rue. Okay. Thank you. So sorry I mispronounced it. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if the little petals are cute. I need to make them look more like leaves, probably. Of course I've seen Zombie Stage. What do you take me for? Also, Wizard, I think you're gonna really like this part. When I was visiting my friends, I finally watched Madoka Magica. Drink. Drink. That's all. Drink. Yeah. I'm glad that you're out of that setting, IDK. I've been through my fair share of friendship breakups, like a lot. Doodler, if you're still here. A lot of it happens, you know? But it won't be the end of the world. Madoka fuck. I did watch it, I really liked it, and I watched the movie. It was really good. I really like it. Let's go Toxic Eerie. Back on the stage of Alien Stage. So Ivan Till is Aramir. Ivan Till's Aramir. Yep. Can you guess who's who? I don't think it's really hard to guess. I don't think so. I think Michi and Sua are Ink and Dream. Also because of like Ivan being Nightmare and then Sua being Dream. Yay! I know that could be debated, but I like it. Oh, Flower Queen! Yes, yes, yes. I love Madoka Magica. I'm really excited for the new movie. I'm a late fan. People keep making a user Madoka is Michi and Homer is Sua because of the... That's blatantly incorrect. Angry! I agree with you, actually. When me and Gray were talking about it, I forget... Who did we say who was who? With Madoka and Homura... Also, if I'm mispronouncing her name, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for the Madoka Magica fans. Ink was Homura, Dream was Madoka, is what we said, if you squint. Sayaka... Oh god, I forgot the red hair one. Oh! I don't think we could decide. I think Gray said, like, Aramir, and I was like, yeah! But, like, they're not really Aramir at all, so, you know. Womp womp. I love Alien Stage. I can never get into, like, the fandom, though, because I think all of their takes are, like, horribly incorrect, and it, like, angers me. So yeah. I've been waiting for years. Yes, everyone keeps saying that. I think I'm, like, really lucky, because I just, like, started, you know, getting into it. And the movie's coming out, like, this year. And so my friends, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. I can't wait for that movie. And they all kind of stared at me in envy because they've been waiting for so long. I mean, we could still talk about it, Maxie. Don't even worry about it. I love Alien Stage and Zombie Stage. The fandom needs to shut the frick up, though, about Zombie Stage. People are not allowed to speak on that series. Only I can, actually. I'm the only one allowed. If you guys follow me on TikTok, I sometimes forget that, like, my reposts are public. I don't repost anything, like, bad. But I forget that I could be like, if you follow me on my TikTok, you can see my viewpoint on Alien Stage. Because I'm very public about it. Yeah, if you ever want to get to know a little bit more about me, my reposts are public, so. Do you think Luca and Hyuna would be killer in color? See, the thing with Luca and Hyuna, it's hard for me to give them characters because of the complexities that is Luca and Hyuna. Because part of their dynamic, you two don't strike me down, is child essay, you know? So, it's like when people, one of the things that have been annoying me about the obsession thing, now you guys got me ranting, the pen is down. The thing that's been annoying me with the obsession thing is like people taking their favorite ships and then putting it into obsession. I mean, I don't think you should be like murdered for it. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it fundamentally misses the point of the movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot that goes on in that movie that's like really dark for the like woman experience. So then making like your favorite ship that is like, I don't think it's smart. So it's tricky. I think so. I would probably say yes. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. That means Ink is gonna beat the shit out of Killer. I'll say it, it's weird. Thank you, Doodler. Yes, you should. I have a Halloween in August and me and my friend are going as Homura in Madoka. That's so cute! Oh shoot, Doodler's not modded. Thank you. Boyd for pointing that out. Oopsie daisy! Scarlett went to see that in theaters and texted me telling me she was crying because it scared her so bad. You know what's interesting? I've been seeing people say that like it's very different like experience for like men and women. And like watching it, you know? And like what's terrifying about it. Yeah, it's a good movie. I'm not seeing Obsession because I'm the most easily... I get you. I get you. But what's going on so far? Nothing much. We're just chatting. I'm doing some designs for Dreamtale, like if they were more like from the foresty. This was before like the villagers interfered. Just for fun. Just chatting. Rosa, do you have any thoughts on Zombie Stage? I have a lot of thoughts, but it depends on like what you want me to talk about. Like Sua and Niji's relationship. What aspects? Why are you yelling at me, Doodler? Ask me what you're freaking out about, because I don't know what you're talking about. Overall opinion on it. I think it's really good. I think there's some problems to it. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's really good. It shows the exploitation of the K-pop industry very well. It showcases the complexities of Sua and Miji's relationship, and how toxic it is. I think the art is fantastic. I'm so excited for it. Like, I genuinely can't wait for the rest of it to be released because I'm not exactly sure where they're wanting to go with it. Yeah, I think it's great. I think Niji and Suwa are some of my favorite characters in not media, but like their dynamic is like I find it more interesting than Ivan and Till. Sorry. I'm also not a Has Been Hotel fan, I just really like this song. Everyone be nice to me, please. Be nice, be nice. Be nice to me. Be nice. Everyone spare me. How did half of the fandom only realize they were toxic after this, and why is everyone saying only Neezy is toxic? I've been seeing everyone be like fighting and saying that they're just like, it's Neezy and Suwa both like, one of them is like the abuser. I think there's just a lot of complexities to their dynamic that I think people are just like dumbing down to just straight up abuse, and that's kind of like bugging me a little bit because I don't know, like I feel like it is too simple to label it as just like straight up abuse. There's some other stuff going on to the depth of their relationship, and so like I do get annoyed seeing that. It's like when everyone was saying that the Ivan and Till kiss was SA. Maybe this is going to be a controversial take, but I'm going to explain my reasoning. First off, in Alien Stage, kissing for them is not something that they understand. Like, they don't have it as a human concept. They don't know what it is. There's no sexual intent behind it. There's no romantic intent behind it because they don't know what it is. I'm not skipping this song. They don't know what it is. They just, like, see it and, like, hear about it like it's, like, this, like, weird thing. Like, they don't know what it is. And when it happened on that stage, it wasn't with the intent of, like, hurting Till specifically. It was to save his, like, life. There was no intent of, like, romance behind it. Maybe, like, the action of doing it to, like, protect Till was romantic, but the actual kiss, he did it, Ivan did it because he thought it was aggressive. He thought it was violent. It made him look violent. Like, it was not an action of, like, forcing intimacy. It was him trying to look like he was attacking Till so he would get shot and Till could live. And obviously Till is traumatized by it, but he's traumatized by it because he feels guilty that, like, Ivan died in front of him and he never got to fully understand Ivan. So, labeling it as SA, it's just, like, they don't go by our specifics. Like, in that situation, it was life or death. And Ivan didn't really have any other choices. I guess you could say he could have, like, beat the shit out of Till, but obviously he's not wanting to do that if he wants him to be okay. The kiss made it look like he was, like, biting him. He wasn't even choking him hard either. He was doing it very gently, if you look at the video. And he kept, like, labeling that as SA is just, like, you're completely missing the nuances of the world and, like, the world building in, like, these characters. Luca and Hyuna, obviously, was, SA. We don't know how, like, deep it went, probably just a kiss, but Ivan and Till, I don't think it is. Not in the context that we have. We can't put our same morality on Alien Stage because, like, we are not there. So that's my opinions on, like, I just feel like a lot of the fandom gets, like, the nuances of characters really incorrect. So it does annoy me a little bit. Is that controversial? Am I gonna get cancelled? Well, that guy's punching him with his mouth. Exactly! That's literally what it was. That's what it looked like to everyone. That's probably what Ivan thought. Like, I don't know, it doesn't classify. I think it could classify as maybe, like, just assault. Just assault. Because, yeah, he was seeing it like it was more like a punch or a bite. Yeah, it's assault. It traumatized Till. SA? I don't think we can label it that. I think it misses the point. Isn't he so cute? But also, I'm not like the end-all be-all on like what is SA, what's not. So other people could have different reasonings for why they see it as that. I don't know. I will say that. I could be very wrong. That's just my opinion on the world building that we were given. It doesn't make sense that it would be classified as a intimate act if they don't know what it is. If they don't know it's supposed to be an intimate act in the first place. I'm gonna get canceled on Twitter. I'm back on Twitter now, so I actually could get canceled on Twitter. I'm fucking scared, guys. I don't like Twitter. It rage baits me. Everyone hates on everything on there, and it's like so evil. Don't follow me on Twitter. I'm not gonna be happy there. There's been drama coming out on TikTok? What's the drama? There's a lot of drama all the time. Making the doc as we speak. No! No, no, no! Don't cancel me! I just hit 10k! I don't know what to do for his fucking top. Hold on, pictures of my phone. The way everyone's immediately nosy. What drama? What drama? I see y'all. This is why you guys are my fan base. Y'all are just as nosy as I am. Let's see here. What to give Dream? I do think he should have those little... Or, well, probably she, because she's probably going to be trans in this interpretation too, because what am I good for? All I do is trans femme dream. I feel like as soon as Alien Stage got more popular, our people refused to miss past the actual meaning behind what happens in Alien Stage and the other. Exactly. So far, older creators being outed as weird people. I can't talk about one of the situations because last time I did, I got in trouble. Joking blocks. I'm not allowed to talk about that. Tell me, who's your housekeeper? Let's keep in here. You're getting close to a sub count where people tend to get weird and controversial. Stop. Don't say that. Don't say that. You know, I don't have a Discord server, so that's one good thing that I'm doing. I have a private one with a bunch of Undertale creators. So it's also, yeah, so I was considering that Void is just I don't know. I don't really like a lot of these inspo pictures because I feel like it's too simple. Sorry, that's not an insult to you. I just like, and also she already has the, maybe let me try. Let me see how it looks. No, 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 no! Wait, I love you! I sent you so much. I'm getting yelled at! Stop! Be nice. But yeah, I don't have a Discord. I'll never have a Discord server. For newer viewers, because there's a lot of newer viewers in this chat, I will never, if I make a Discord server, cancel me immediately. Like, make a doc, because something's going on. Something's going on. Something has happened to me. The only way I would make a Discord server is if, like, I just use it for updates about stuff I'm working on, and, like, no one's allowed to talk. Besides, like, maybe send fan art. And, like, no one's allowed to, like, speak. It's completely silent. There's no general chats. It's just, like, there's a fan art section. There's a question section. There's an announcement section. That's it. You guys aren't allowed to talk to each other. That's it. I don't like this song. I'm gonna skip it. This needs to be out of my playlist. But yeah, Discord servers are a recipe for disaster, and like a lot of my mutuals have Discord servers, and that's great. I'm so happy for them. I think it is a recipe for disaster, and every single time someone starts a Discord server, something terrible happens, like to their career. Hi Lala. Like something terrible happens, like without fail. It turns them like sick and twisted. Like I can't. I've talked about it where I was like, if someone makes like a fan server, that's great. Go ahead, make a fan server. And I've considered of like, if I get to like, if somehow I get to like 100K, maybe, but I really don't want to. First off, it's a lot to run a Discord server. It's a lot to find mods that I can trust, because a lot of Discord server drama happens between moderators because you don't know each other well. So I would want it to be my friends, but I don't want to keep, like, making my friends moderate stuff for me, because that's not fun. That'll ruin our friendship. It's just like, you know, there's like a lot of factors. Was not a good person. Exactly. Like, it turns them evil, I swear to God. And I don't want to turn evil, guys. The closest, like, and also, I think it's really dangerous, I feel like, as a content creator in this day and age where, like, they are abusing their platform so often, to have a place like that where interaction with fans is so prevalent, because it is most likely going to turn parasocial and problematic, and that is where a lot of these creators will become friends with their fans, and then like abuse will happen because they think it's fine, and that they have no like, as soon as they become friends, they have no like real control over the friendship, but they will always have control over the friendship. So exactly. I mean, I would join servers that people make. I would never run it. I would be there. I'm in a couple. I'm in one with Wizard. It's an airfare server. It's not public. It's invite only, but I'm in a couple. You can see me floating around in some of the Undertale Multiverse ones. I'm in a... My audience on YouTube will know this. Maybe. Drifterverse from Anita Draws. They, Anita has a Discord server that I'm in. So I'm in that. I'm in my friend Shroomi's Discord server. So I'm like in a couple. I would join servers because then I'm not in control. So the thing that I've talked about with my friends, Maxie, of like why people do that, I think it's like the fame genuinely gets to their head and they think they're untouchable. And so when they make those servers, they either don't realize the harm that they're doing because they're just like genuinely like clueless to the influence they have. Scarlet. Or they do know, and the fame is getting to them and turning them, or they've always been bad people and the fame just helps them. Because unfortunately, a lot of bad people are very charismatic. And that tends to be why a lot of them get famous.
I love you. Goodbye.
It's the sad truth. I don't know. I get DMs sometimes from like people you can obviously tell are younger, and I'm not mad about this because they're kids, right? And they'll be like, I want to be your friend so bad. And like, I'll read that message and I'll think like how easy it is for like these kids that don't know any better, that like just like look up to people to like just fall into the hands of like really bad stuff. Like if you run into a creator one day and like you're a kid and you don't know any better, you go up to these creators you think are amazing, it's so easy for them to just get like hurt. And I would never want to felicitate, like, what's the word? I would never want to like make that environment, because if it's not me, it could be a moderator. It could be someone on my staff. It could be one of my friends that I don't know that is like secretly problematic, because that's also a thing that happens. Like, you invite your other creator friends that you don't know is problematic until they have all that space and they have all that influence, and then boom, they hurt people. And you have to deal with that consequence too. So, it's really hard, you know? Like, being a content creator since I was 16, I think even younger than that. I was like 14 when I started on TikTok for the dreaded fandom. I've seen it all. Like, I could have been one of those kids. I don't know, it's made me very, like, protective. I think I've talked about it before, like, I've dealt with, like, when I was 14, I had, like, my grooming experience. So I think that's also why I'm so particular about it, because I've lived that life. I know how bad it can be. And I would never ever want that to happen to a child in my fan base, you know? That thought just, like, upsets me deeply. It makes me feel sick. So I would never... that's another big reason why I wouldn't want a Discord server, because you can't control what could happen in your server. And that responsibility is just, like, it's scary. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. I get to talk to you guys on live streams. It's a very, like, I hope not parasocial. I hope you guys know that I am a creator and I have to keep a little bit of level of distance, especially for the younger ones. It's no shame on you guys. It's to protect you, because you don't know me. You don't know how I am. It's to be safe. But I do think I'm able to, like, reveal a little bit of myself on the live stream. I can talk to you guys and, like, hear about your stories and stuff like that, and, like, that's the extent. I can bond with them that way. So, you know. Sorry, that was a tangent. New viewers, I go on tangents a lot. I have ADHD, so. I feel like kids need to be taught online safety again. I heavily agree with that. Heavily. Being an adult, I've been trying to avoid younger people who follow me on Insta. Yeah. At this point, I've talked about it before. I definitely have an audience that is younger. And I think that's another big problem, right? A lot of creators who are, like, they start out pretty young, like teenagers. They don't realize that their audience, especially on YouTube, is a lot younger than they could even be. So they, like, do stuff and, like, expose their child audience to things, and they don't realize the harm because they're like, I'm an adult. I make content that I enjoy, but you don't understand, like, a lot of the time, like, you will be having kids, like, in your media. Like, you're gonna have kids in your audience. And I've recognized that, like, even though I might not have, like, little babies, I have teenagers, younger teenagers, because I know that because I was watching these stuff when I was, like, 13 or 14. I was watching animatics, and I was really big fans of artists and all that stuff. I know what it's like. I do know I have a younger audience, and so that's kind of why I also am very, like, serious about it, because I know there's younger people here. And I'm not upset by it. I kind of like having a younger audience. That sounds really weird, but I don't have to, I'm Arrow Ace. I can just, like, make super cutesy content and not have to worry about it. I know some of my creator friends have, like, kind of complained about, like, a lot of comments they'll get because they're, like, a more older audience. And they get weird ass comments sometimes. They get really weird comments. That attracts all the freaks. If they have an older audience. I don't want to deal with that. I'll deal with the edgy middle schoolers that like my content. So I don't get weird comments. Thanks! You would not believe the things that I have seen some of my friends send. Online safety was a required course for me when I was in elementary school because it was so new. Oh, that's so weird. I'm so old. Ah! When I post every 5 years, because I know some younger people. IDK follows me. I was taught fully putting their age and stuff online. I hope my audience feels safe enough where they don't feel, like, belittled for being younger, but they also feel safe to just be kids. Yeah. It stresses me out, guys. Just seeing so much stuff happen online. One of the trends I hate. Yes, I've seen that too. That's crazy. I remember, this is a story, and I'm not shaming this child because I have no idea if they still follow me. I remember when I was in the Dream SMP fandom and I was like 15, right? I got a message from a follower, and this was back when I didn't realize that like I was considered a bigger creator. I was 15. I was 15 in the double wide. If you know that reference, you're elite. I was 15 in the double wide, and I didn't realize. So I did like talk to this person a little bit on Discord because they reached out to me on TikTok wanting to be friends, and I was like, yeah, I'll have friends. They immediately sent me their address and was like, can we please meet up one of these days? And I was like, oh my god. What? I immediately unfriended this person. I told them, like, this is not safe. You're a child. Like, you cannot be sending me this stuff. Again, I'm 15. I was a child, and I had to handle that situation because it was this young kid. It was like this, like, 12-year-old that didn't know any better. And they just thought they could trust me. I still, like, get DMs like that on Tumblr. People being like, can you please be my friend? Like, where do you live? Like, we can maybe meet up. And I'm just like, no. And I'll check, and it's clearly a child. It's, yeah. Online safety just doesn't exist anymore. And then I have to deal with it because I'm like, oh my god, this child just sent me their address. What the fuck? What do I do? Luckily, that doesn't happen as much anymore because I do think my audience, in the Dream SMP, it makes sense that I had such a younger audience, and I think since then my audience has grown to more like teenager level, so they're not doing that anymore as much. I just get a lot of messages of people wanting to be friends, which again, very sweet. If you're in this live and you're watching, if you sent me one of those DMs and I didn't answer, I'm not mad at you. I didn't answer for your own safety. You're a child. I can't be your friend. You don't know me. I don't want to be friends with people who are children. I'm 20 years old. Yeah, I'm not gonna shame this child for sending me that because clearly they didn't know better and they're just a child. But it's crazy. It's crazy. I've been waiting forever to tell that story because I didn't want that kid to one day see it, but I don't think they follow me anymore, so I think I'm okay. Should I give him sleeves or her? Still haven't decided what this design if I'm gonna do. She, her, or he, him. Some of my online friends don't even know what country I live in. Yeah. Yeah. And that's all very good. I'm very glad everyone in here is very safe. Yeah, I don't know. I think it also freaks me out because as someone that has like a lot of mental health issues, I've talked about that before. Like, why do you think Roseverse got made? Someone with like a lot of mental health issues, it is also scary knowing that people look up to me that much to the point like they would do that because I'm like, I'm not a perfect person. I wouldn't say I'm like a bad person. Doodler Void, am I a bad person? But I'm not perfect. No one is. We have mental health crises, we have mental health problems, and stuff happens. And I think like being idolized so much like that, it does kind of freak me out because I'm like, I feel like I can't be a normal person sometimes because then I get worried. I don't even try to like share how I'm feeling much anymore online publicly because I feel like I don't have the right. Oh, thank you, Doodler. I don't feel like I not the right, but I don't feel like it's the safe thing to do anymore to like share how I'm feeling now because I don't want people to like look too into it and like get parasocial. Like, it's a freaky experience, you know what I mean? I used to be very open about my mental health on old live streams. Rosa, you can't do that. I do not. I do not. Julie loves me very, very much. Talk a lot now. Yeah, I agree with that, IDK. I don't know how I feel about this top. Because I feel like it's missing something. You know what I mean? Let's see. It's true, I do. Nah, nah.
Sometimes you gotta bleed to know that you're alive and have a soul.
You're so sweet. But yeah, I used to talk about my mental health a lot on live streams. And now, like, I feel too scared to. Because I feel like I have a responsibility to not do that now. Even though I feel like that's kind of ingenuine, right? I should be able to talk about it. I should go to sleep soon. Yeah, I think in your time zone right now it is very late. Rosa, your music is so Tumblr coded. Leave me alone. Your music is peak. Thank you. Is that correcting void? My music is peak. I get made fun of on the regular. Hi, Buster. Go lay down. It's okay. Oh, I know. I think most of your friends just sleep there. No, that's necessarily true. I don't know if I should agree with that. I don't think that's something I can agree with. I think that'll get me in trouble if I, like, agree or I disagree. I think that puts me in a very bad spot, no matter where I go with that. Yeah, all my fancy therapy. Buster, go lay down. This is also why I don't go live, because I have to babysit this dog now, who has an emotional attachment to me, and just because I'm not laying on the bed, he's very upset. He's very, very upset. He's at my chair right now, just like very. You can hear him clawing, I think. Stop. Go lay down. You are fine. You were sleeping 2 seconds ago. This dog. You retracted that so fast I didn't even get to see it. I don't know what you said, boy. That's your child. I do love him very dearly. All I do is I send pictures of him to the people that he's in all my stories. Whenever you see like a dog in my stories, it's him. I cry at the lack of airmare content every day. What do I do? Like the backrooms thing. Just because you didn't get to be an architect. I make airmare content! I am the airmare content! All I do. All I do. No, Scarlet, I can't. Yes, you can.
They say flowers fade and their beauty can't be weighed with flowers so fake. It's all because the way
I don't know how I feel about this, but this is all just a test. You are the airmare, exactly. This is so comforting. I just recently lost my dog. I'm so sorry. I know how hard that is to lose a pet. I've lost a couple in my life. This one's really old. His name's Buster. I'm sure your dog loved you very much. You won't see my airmare content. Why don't you post it so I can see Wizard? I want to see it. You should feed me. my parents are. My parents used to see me with my Arison's body pillow. Doodler, I love this drawing. Holy shit. What the fuck? Why did you like cook? I'm in love. You need to post that immediately. Then I'll make platinum members. I've been going down the Aramir rabbit hole and I blame Rosa Cooling. You know I'm friends with most of the people that make Aramir content now? How crazy is that, chat? That's how famous I am. Inky Will Crow, like the most popular Aramir artist in the world. I'm friends with her. I could text her right now. Be like, hey Inky. I can make her go onto my live stream. I'm friends with her. I'm just that popular. I'm trying to think of who else. I love Inky's content. I'm friends with her. I'm friends with her. We've been friends for like a year now. We talk all the time. Love Inky. She's the sweetest thing in the world. I love her. I'm trying to think of who else that like I'm friends with that makes Aramir content now. How do you even make Undertale Multiverse fans? I need them. How do you make... Well, for me, and I've talked about this on my live, so I don't feel afraid to say it, I do run a server called Solar Power, where a bunch of like Undertale Multiverse artists are in it. We have like almost 150 people in it. The creator of like the Infection Ends of Beginning, Loop Bear, is in it. Inky Will Crow's in it. Who else would be like big name that I can say? Oh, we have so many people. I'm getting blank. Shoot. Who the fuck do we have on that server? We have Yohon. If you guys ever seen like Cross X Inc. content on YouTube, that one animation meme, that's the person that made it. They're in there. Pupsino's in there. That one famous Inkmare artist, Azure or something. How do you say Zoo's user? Zoo's in there. The creator of Visual Stars is in there. The creator of Voyagers is in there. Only talking Velvet, yeah, Pupchino. You should post your evil Aramir art. So that's why I know so many of them. It's because I run that server and it's like where we all hang out. If you're wondering how like so many Undertale Multiverse creators are like so inspired recently and like they keep making so many content, blame me and Aki. We made that server so people would keep creating and I feel like it's been working like really well. So yeah. Some of my biggest achievements. Try to bring down the mood and talk about something serious that I've been needing to talk about, or should we just keep these good vibes going so I don't have to talk about it? Filler avoid know what I'm referring to. It needs to be said, not just on Tumblr, but I'm nervous. I want to eat your art, Rosa, thank you. I want to post my art. but I'm low-key scared because it sucks. The thing is, I started posting when I was 14, my art, like, was not at its best, and I got a bunch of attention. Like, someone will always enjoy your art, even if you don't think so. Pink Sims loves you for real. Rip off the band-aid or whatever they say. Wizard knows what I'm gonna talk about because I saw Wizard like the post. I was scared. I'm sweating. It's also because it's very hot. Okay. You don't see anything I do and remember. No, I don't. Hello, Ember Flames. I didn't see you hop in. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. I posted on my Tumblr about this. And that was already hard enough because I don't like sharing publicly how I'm feeling, but I think it needs to happen because I need to be transparent, and I know that a lot of people are here for Roseverse. If you go look at the fic page, you will see that it says hiatus in big bold letters. And there's a reason for that. I feel like everyone's hearts just dropped. Everyone hold on. I'm not leaving the Undertale Multiverse fandom, obviously. Let's get that out of the way. I'm not gonna stop posting. Let's get that out of the way. I'm not quitting. Let's get that out of the way. I'm not gonna stop writing. Let's get that out of the way. But the problem that Okay, so I'm gonna just like really get into it because I feel like a lot of the viewers there are usually here for Roseverse are here. I started making Roseverse when I was like 16. That was a while ago. That was a while ago. And I was really young, and I was dealing with a lot at the time that I haven't really talked about publicly. I don't think I ever really talk about publicly, but I will simply say that when I was 16, I was like in a year-long psychosis episode, and I did not realize that until I got older. I've talked about being like very mentally ill before in the past. That one update video when I was like 18. And when you are so mentally low and not completely stable, obviously you're not going to make the best work that you can. Like, you could, but it's not going to really be like completely something that you can be proud of later on, which is what I'm kind of confronting now. When I was making Roseverse, I was like still in a very bad home situation. I was not doing well with friends. I am doing very like well now. I should clarify, like, this is all in the past. And there's reasons why I'm feeling like this, and it is because I'm feeling better. So I will clarify that like I'm in the best place I've ever been in my life. I'm very happy. But when I was making it, I was not okay. I mean, most of my content being made, I was not okay when I was making it. Until maybe I was like the second half of being 18. Goodbye, chat. Bye, Scarlet. Have fun. I want to go watch that too. Oh my god. Bye, Scarlet. Have fun. You're so lucky. I want to go watch the Hades Town Pro Shot. I might do that. IDK, it's okay. Oh god, where was I? Anyways, I like the second half of me being 18 is when I started to get a lot better. And I've like progressively gotten a lot better mentally over the years, which is great. If you know, though, a lot of Roseverse content and plot development was made when I was 16 and 17, and that was when I was like having like the worst time of my life. Maybe not the worst time of my life, but like pretty like bad time because I was recovering from the worst time of my life. I wasn't around the best people, and a lot of the stuff that I was writing was like really projected on my own idea of life, which was obviously not great because again I was in psychosis and it was not the best mindset. So I made Roseverse and I was like thinking up a bunch of ideas and I was completely planning it out. I was making the pilot, all that type of stuff when I was just like suffering. I was doing horrible. And now, and there's a bunch of other details there that I could go into, like, but I'm not going to because there's no need. Now that I'm better, and now that I'm doing great, I'm 20 years old, I'm an adult now, I have a completely different outlook on life. I've researched a bunch of like cultures and like fashion cultures and like history over the time. Like I've learned so much about writing. Every time I look at Roseverse now and the plots that I've come up with and the writing that I've done, I just get horribly sad and like horribly like angry and upset at myself. And it's simply it's like I don't blame my younger self, but I keep every time I like sit down and I work and I try to follow the plotline that I've come up with, I sit there and I get so upset because I think that it's not that great and I think that I could have done better. I'll think all these things of like there's so many like flaws to it. There's so many old like characterization that people are like misunderstood about. Because they're going off of stuff that I made when I was 16 or 17 when I was like I didn't have a great idea. I guess a great example is like when I was first writing the Killer and Nightmare chapter. Obviously Nightmare wasn't the best caretaker, but I didn't fully insert the nuances until later on in the fic. And that's a problem. The end of that first chapter was written as if it was a good thing that they were together now and like Killer was calming down. And it could have been in some aspects, but there's a lot of nuances there. And I didn't focus on it because of my idea of attachment. So there's stuff like that. There's relationships that I feel like I really like dropped the ball on and I didn't get to really elaborate on in the way that like probably be really good. So it's been really hard for me to write this latest chapter and to like really think about Roseverse at all because it just makes me like upset. I don't like what I've made. And I know it makes me feel really bad saying that because I know there's so many people that love it. I get comments asked every single day of people just being like, I love what you've made. Like it's really inspired me. Like it's changed my life. Like, and it feels so nice to hear that. But it also, it's still really hard for me to fully accept that like, because I'm not happy with it, you know? And if I'm not happy with it, I'm not going to make content that is enjoyable. I'm going to make subpar content. I'm going to make content that is filled with like kind of hatred and annoyance. And I've been sitting on this for a while because I didn't know if it was just mental health stuff. But DK's just breathing. I didn't know if it was just mental health stuff for the longest time, so I was waiting months and months and months to like confront this. I talked to all my friends about it, and I was just like, it wasn't going away, and it hasn't gone away. It's just like gotten worse, and it's made me like really not want to create. It's made me kind of hate my art and all this stuff. So Roseverse is on hiatus. I think Roseverse does have some aspects that I really, really love, that I'm really, really proud of, that I would never want to let go. But I think there are some aspects that need to be expanded. And I think that should have been more, like, focused on all this type of stuff. DK. I'm glad it inspired you, Pastel. So obviously I'm not going to stop making content. I love crafting, I love world building. I've talked about like my interpretation of like godhood in the multiverse. I still love it, obviously. So one of the reasons why I'm making these designs is I'm trying to focus on a new project that I'm gonna take one at a time. I'm gonna focus on AUs really slowly, and it's gonna be like based off of Roseverse in a lot of aspects, but it's basically expanding and making things a bit better in ways that I actually like. Probably with a different name, with content that better suits my worldview now, with more nuances. So Roseverse is on hiatus until I decide if I want to go back, or if it's basically going to be rewritten into a whole entire different media. And that would be, like, on my Tumblr, I'm probably going to make a different blog for it. Like, I'm going to have my main Tumblr, but then I'm going to have, like, a multiverse Tumblr that's focusing on different stuff. And that's just, like, word vomit, so I could just, like, keep posting, like, lore dumps that I'm thinking of. And I can work as, like, in the tags, like, this is 100% canon, or this is, like, being debated, might change later, so I can better sort things, all that type of stuff. I just want to have fun making again, and not hate what I'm creating. And it's been really hard with Roseverse, which is really upsetting because I love Roseverse. At the end of the day, it's why I kind of want to keep some of this stuff for me. Like, I want to hoard it. Like, Transform Dream means so much to me. There's so many stuff. But I want to keep creating. I want to keep making stuff, and I keep wanting to show representation of, like, different unhealthy dynamics, because I think I do that a lot with my content of, like, platonic unhealthy dynamics, because there's a lot of that stuff with romance, but not a lot of, like, codependent friendships. I want to keep doing that type of stuff. I keep wanting to make Undertale Multiverse stuff. So I'm not, like, quitting. And Roseverse isn't going to be, like, deleted. But I'm not really happy with it anymore, and I feel like this was a long time coming. But I kept trying to deny it for a while. It was really hard for me to talk about because it makes it more real once I come on here and I say something, you know? That has all the yaoi. Yeah, there's also that aspect of, like, man, I don't really care about not making ships canon anymore. I low-key want to write about Airmare. But that's also just me messing around. I do really like the aspect of having a multiverse where ships are canon, and it's more focused on platonic dynamics. But I am very thankful that, like, my regular videos of just, like, random Undertale Multiverse bullshit, like, gets really popular, because it does make me feel better about making stuff, because I don't have to worry about, like, people, like, leaving. I guess I also was really scared to announce it, because, guys, I just hit 10K. And, like, I know most of my legacy and my content is, like, Roseverse. Everyone knows me for Roseverse. Like, I'll repost something on TikTok, and I'll get replies, and people, like, I literally just, like, reposted something. I'm not calling this person out, I think it's funny. I reposted something about PJ, and I was like, Paper Jam song, sad face, and then people were like, I gotta get caught up on Roseverse lore. So PJ doesn't exist in Roseverse. PJ does not exist for a multitude of reasons. Chad, I'm sure you can guess why. One of the big main ones as to why he does not exist in Roseverse. Let's think. 1, 2, 3. What's the answer? Ink and Air are siblings. They are related. So yeah, that doesn't exist. But people just know me for that. Like, they know me for that stuff. I'm skipping this song. So yeah, it's really hard to, like, come forward and talk about this. And I am very comforted knowing that a lot of, like, my you know, a lot of my fan base are like fans of me no matter what. That makes me happy. I've never had that before where, like in the Dream SMP fandom, people didn't know me for me. They knew me for like, you know, just they watched the content I made. But now I can solidly say that I think I have a fan base of people that just like my art. That like literally no matter what will just kind of watch whatever I make. They're just like Rosa posted. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, they're siblings in Roseverse. I could post just like literally me like going outside and like looking at my dog and people would comment on it and be like, yeah, Rosa posted it. Which is really fun. I like that. There's just also the aspect of like when I go live now, I'm probably not going to bring anybody else on because the live streams also became a thing where it's like it felt like a lot of people were only there for like my friends, and it becomes a problem because friends like drift apart sometimes, guys, and nothing bad can happen, but sometimes friends just drift apart and then they're part of your content forever, and then like you don't really talk anymore because you're all in like different stuff and you're all busy. And so then people are like, oh, I can't wait for this friend to come back, and you're just sitting there and you're like, well, we don't really talk anymore. I'm not shading anybody because there's nothing to shade. There's no drama. It's just friends drift apart and then they become part of your content and like people like keep talking about so that's all. That also became a problem where I was like, I couldn't ever go live without people mentioning other people, and I'm not mad at people because I never expressed this boundary, but it was like, oh, I can't go live unless I go with friends because that's what people want. They want to be with friends. They want to see my friends, but then also it's like, what if like me and that other friend like get into different fandoms and we stop talking? What then? What then? So there was also that issue. There was just like a lot of stuff building up. Show us your dog? If you go look on my Instagram stories, you'll see him. He's there. I know you from the FTFO animatic you made, and then some. I looked at your other stuff. Honest, same. I think I found you because I love FTFO. I love being known for that. Friends or not, I'm watching Cooling Rosa, not Friends. Thank you, Wizard. That's really sweet. I can be funny. And who knows, I might change this down the line and go live with friends again, but it's like, it became a whole thing where I was just like, what's gonna happen if like I have like a terrible falling out with someone, and then like, I have them on my like streams, and then, what do I do then? What do I do? Hasn't happened. But like, what if like me and Void have like a very bad fight and we stop speaking forever? And like, I have to live with the fact that like I've posted them everywhere. I'm very publicly friends with them and they've been in my live streams before. So it's awkward. It's awkward. This goes back to the content creator talk we were having the other day. Time just passes so fast for me, guys. An hour ago, where I was talking about how like you feel like you have to be like the perfect person because people are watching. The one with my old news shows currently that AU is gonna get rebooted. Yes, Void, yes. Found you from my friend who found FTFO. Bye, Scarlet! I'm rereading FTFO right now, actually. I remember hiding in the bathroom every class because I remember I was still in high school when FTFO was being updated. Oh my god, I'm so old. I'm a junior in college. Guys. No! Oh my god, no, I'm so old. Rose, I need to thank you for the Airmare content you've been posting because it's so scrumptious. You're welcome! I have more ideas. I always have ideas. If you guys follow my AO3, I'm so thankful I was able to make Yuri for Inky's birthday. Inky requested, for her birthday that she wanted Airmare Yuri. I think that was the best day of my life. I finished that like within, oh god, what was it? I think it was like a day and a half. I love it. I love it. No, it's so crazy. It was updating in my final years of school and now I'm going to uni. Like, oh. You're not 20 years old, 20... I know, but it makes me feel old because I started content creating when I was like 14. So I feel old now when I'm like talking about the past. I'm like, oh, when I was in high school. When I was in high school? What do you mean I'm not in high school anymore? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? So it's like that type of thing. Anyways, yeah, I remember I would sit in class because I would finish work so easily, like so quickly because I'm a little teacher's pet a little bit, guys. Little confession from Pulling Rosa. And I would sit there and I would read every single chapter. Doodler was friends with me at this time. Doodler, sound off. I would send videos in the group chat of like our old friend group, screaming in agony about every update. I sent one time where I literally like was tugging on my shower curtain, screaming because I was in pain. It was hilarious. FTFO was serious. There was no laughing matter when those updates were being like posted. I was in distress. The way my stream lagged. Jeweler, do you remember when you would get like live updates whenever like FTFO would update in our old group chat? Do you remember that? Of me like scream crying. We were in physical pain though. We were both in physical pain, it's true. It was brutal. I didn't play. I remember so vividly freaking out about Air becoming lucid enough to strategize and form some sort of a plan. I remember when the Prism chapters first got uploaded and we didn't, or I don't think it was uploaded yet, but we didn't know how Ink lost his soul, so I crashed out on my TikTok story being like FTFO spoilers, but like imagining Air like sobbing and like crying over his boy being gone, like holding him when he comes back and he's just not emoting, and like I was completely off base on what happened, but I was just like yeah, I had to force Doodler to finish it because she didn't want to. Because she was scared. I need all know people who read it too, because I'm the one that suggests them to read it. All my fans, I would force them every single time. I would be live. I would be like, read it, read it, read it, read it. I used to have live streams where I read it. Yeah, everyone's first, I feel like everyone's like first big thing was just like FTFO. First ever video I saw of yours was the FTFO one with the Invader Zim audio. Oh my god, I don't remember that one. Which one was that? Oh, Spencer! Devon! Oh, I remember now. I've made so many like videos so you could tell it like blends in my head. I also didn't know Ink had dads until FTFO, and I was somehow predicted top X Aster being a shit before top was introduced. Well, they're canon. The jealous error content came in my Insta feed mid crash out, and it genuinely made me stop in shock. I miss FTFO. Oh my god. You know what's really funny? I knew Zoo, Inkmare artist, like during the FTFO days, like we were like acquaintances, right? And then years passed. We didn't talk. And then I became friends with Gray, and I helped Gray get together with Zoo. Because if you didn't know, Gray and Zoo, Inkmare artist and drink artist and writer, are together. And you want to know why? It's because of me. It's kind of, not actually. No, Gray would tell me that like they really liked Zoo, and I would listen to them. I'm like, you just need to confess. And they never did. Zoo did, but it was also me. I did it. I listened to Gray talk about it and like all this type of stuff, and then I was like, just tell Zoo. And they never did. But eventually Zoo coughed up and admitted that he liked Gray too, and it was so cute. It was so cute. So they're dating. Ah! It's because of me. So how crazy is that? I met Zoo, and then the universe was like, you're gonna help Zoo get a girlfriend. Or I guess partner. I forget how Gray wants to be referred in that aspect. My non-binary people. Sometimes I got so excited to stop and take a moment to do something when Air showed up. That's me. I got into Rose Through the Bad Scenes redesign video. Which one? The first one or like the second edition? I've actually never read the Wizard. Oh, because you get so excited. Wizard, you have to read it. You have to! It's required. I'm requiring you to do it. I made Astro read FTFO. I can make you read the Air Sans Ass blog. Everyone should read the Air Sans Ass blog. There's so much stuff about Air in there that like you just wouldn't know character-wise. Please, guys, please. This song is also old, and I'm gonna skip it. I want to so bad, but I get destructive excited. Wiggles? Is that the Wiggles I know from Tumblr? Question mark? Or is it a different Wiggles? Tell me who's your housekeeper, what you keep in your house. All of us. Wiggles! Hello! #1 Aramare fan! I don't think Sodi would like me saying that, but... You watch the comic dub and listen when you get too excited. Sodi said, I need to get tipsy or something and read it. Yeah. I think my first intro was the interpretation of Horror Tale. I can't rewatch that video because the audio is so freaking bad. I can't do it, guys. I can't. I don't know how you guys are able to. I don't know how you guys do it. I can't re-listen to that. Hey Wiggles, welcome, welcome. I'm not drawing Airmare, unfortunately. I'm drawing Dream, but... Hi Shade. I'm telling them you said that. Don't do that. No, Sodi's gonna kill me. Actually, Sodi can't kill me because I feed them. They would never do that to me. Decoding it like Morse. Dream is still peak. Hey, little baby Dream. Look how cute this little drawing I did of them is. Like, they're so little. They're so little. I'm sure you're all gonna cry. Did I ever tell y'all that, like, my equivalent, you know, like how some people will have, like, the baby dream, where they, like, dream of, like, having a kid and then, like, they wake up and, like, cry, and it's, like, a really emotional affair? Mine was with Passive Nightmare. This is how fandom filled I am, guys. I remember when I was, like, 17, I had woken up from a dream where Passive Nightmare was my child, and I remember, like, in the dream, I knew that, like, if I woke up, Passive, like, was gonna deal with the Apple incident and die. And I genuinely cried for I think like, oh God, I cried all morning. Every time I thought about it during the day, I was crying. I was sobbing my eyes out. For days after, I was genuinely sad, and I would like see people like joke about like hating passive, and I would get legitimately upset and start crying again. I'm still very maternal over him. It wasn't Dream, it was passive. And like I left it. I remember I told Zoo about it when we were like acquaintances. I told Zoo and I was like, oh yeah, I dreamed, and then Zoo was just like, he's dead, you killed him, you killed him, you killed him, you killed him. And I was like, stop! You. And he just kept repeating it at me. Because he's evil and he hates me. And he tormented me. He made me feel so guilty. And then he went and dated one of my best friends. Evil. Evil. Use my favorite, made so many AUs where they get away. Ah! I love them so much, guys. I love them so much. This is why I'm starting with Dreamtale first, with this, like, multiverse thing. Which I've been trying to ponder names. Could not tell ya. I'm trying to think of space ones, and I don't like any of them. Don't have a verse name for it yet, but, you know. My ship's getting divorced. I only play Tomodachi Life now because I get genuinely terrified that, like, when I'm away for too long, like, Aramare and Drink is gonna get divorced, and that makes me, like, very upset. So I'll log in to, like, force them to hang out. I'm, like, really scared to open the game because, like, what if they want to get divorced? I don't want to do that. Kind of dreams. Wiggles, you kind of scare me sometimes because whenever I post something with Aramare, you're immediately there. No matter what. It's a bit frightening. Hey, wait. I have 3 errors on my Tomodachi. Have I checked my Tomodachi Life? Oh my god, yeah. Color and Killer also, like, they're married and they had a kid. A woman, of course, because I only give the Sans as girls. You know what I've been pondering? I really also want to make a royalty AU, and the reason why I want to do this is because of spite. Doodler, I need you to get here right now. Because I'm not gonna shit. But I will be shading. There's this really famous, not the Royal AU, but there's this pretty popular Royal AU, like centered around goth and like palette and stuff like that. And the creator is not the best person. Not personally. Like, this is like stuff that's like called out. Like, they have problematic stuff in their content. And it's unfortunately a really popular AU, and I think some of the ideas are really interesting. But it makes me angry because of, like, you know, all the connotations and stuff like that. And I want... I want to make a Royal AU that's not problematic so bad because I love Royal AUs, guys. I love Royal AUs so much. I love fantasy royal politics. That's like one of my favorite interests of just like, I love gods and like making them kind of like animalistic so we can dive into their behaviors, which is what this new verse is definitely going to be about a lot. And then I love I love royal politics. I love royal politics. So he's trying to you need to tell Stody that my audience is a certain demographic. Stody needs to stop. Fantasy Royal, let's go. Fantasy Royal Cross is so... Stop! Because I'm not- that's not the one I'm shading, but oh my god. Ew! I hate that AU. I hate it. I hate the royal AU. And I'm gonna say it because it has incest in it, so I don't care about shading that. Like, the most popular royal AU sucks. It has incest in it with Dream and Nightmare. Can you believe it? Of course it does. Terrible. Terrible. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about shading that. You saw... stories are always... I'm not sure. What was it posted on? If you didn't tag me, I most likely didn't see it. It has incest. The one where, like, Cross is at the center and he has all, like, the brides. Yeah. Yep! I keep getting messages being held for review. They're not even saying anything bad, so I don't really know why. I guess maybe the incest thing. I don't really know why it keeps getting censored. Yeah, so I don't like that AU. The other ones out there are also usually made by not the best people. Or they have, like... They're so close to making something really interesting and really compelling. And then... they're weird. So, you know. I really want to make one, because I love real politics, and I literally, like... Oh my god, stop, wait. Pause. We're gonna take a moment. This song is Dream Tale, but like specifically Nightmare. I want to make an animatic to it so bad. I love this song, guys. Dueler's gonna kill me for playing it, but I love it. It is Wolf House. Wait. That's the name of the... Yes, it's called Wolf House by Rabbitology. Rabbitology. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. I love this song. I can't leave this shit. They made Cross and Epic cousins? What the fuck? Why do people do this? Oh my god. I love this song, and I think it's Nightmare protecting Dream from the abuse. Who said that? Who said that? The song that's playing right now. I love this song. And then I'll send it to my friends and they don't like it and it makes me angry. It's giving royalty. Oh no! You're right. Here, wait, actually, before it gets like to a really good part, I'm gonna pause this real quick. So, as someone who knows a lot about realty, politics, I'm gonna spoil something for you guys. For all the people that try to use this as an excuse, I'm gonna give you actual, real, cold, hard facts. So, in royalty, it was very common for you to be engaged to your family members. However, this doesn't mean that it was typically something seen as, like, cool. And you wanna know the only, like, country that was doing this that was, like, completely normalized and, like, you had to just accept it? England. Let that sink in for a sec. If you look into history, there's a lot of, like, royal lineages out there that definitely still have, like, cousins getting married. But the one that it was prevalent in is England politics. England royalty. Sorry, it was specifically that. And they did that because they were unfortunately very like about the whole keeping it in the bloodline. And I will say, siblings like getting together wasn't as common as people think. That's not common. It was usually cousins, yes, but it was like second cousins or third cousins. It was like really far away cousins when that would happen, which is still weird. It's still incest, it's still gross. But it was not first cousins usually. Like sometimes it would be, but it was very commonly it was far away cousins. And so other royal lineages they didn't have this happen a lot. And another thing is it's like big age gap marriages. That was also typically looked down upon. But they still did it, obviously. They still did it, but it wasn't something that was like, yay, let's go, a 9-year-old marrying an old man. That was still like weird and people didn't like it, but it was like also that 9-year-old wouldn't have really done anything or like met that man until she was of age, which is still not great. I'm not saying it was great. I don't think it was great. But there's a lot of misinformation that people will use as like an excuse to make really fucked up royalty stuff and be like, well, incest is normal. No. No, it was not. It was only in like certain like aspects. Like Just saying. So, when people use that excuse, it's only for really the British. Unfortunately, other royalty didn't really have that big of a push for keeping it in the bloodline. They might have been more about like cousins, but not siblings and not first cousins, like really distant relatives. So, there you go. Quick little education for you. And it was also probably made fun of because a lot of British like royalty had a lot of like fucked up problems on their like features because of the incest, and in other royal areas they probably made fun of them. Not gonna lie. It was also only the British that like really had you know when people were just like, oh, people didn't bathe like practically at all back then. That was only the British again. The British were the ones that were really against bathing. In other like countries and stuff like that, it was actually very common for people to bathe. And like every day. If we look in Greek mythology and like the Greeks, specifically in the Romans, there's like bathhouses, like public bathhouses, like were everywhere because nudity wasn't as big of a thing, like it wasn't scandalous. Like it was really encouraged for like people to go every single day to the bathhouses because it was a form of activity and like bonding and like all that type of stuff. So that it was really encouraged for like in that like dynasty, and like obviously they didn't have like soaps and stuff, but they were still keeping themselves clean. So and like in a lot of other like African like royalty was the same thing. It was very encouraged for you to bathe every day. All this type of stuff, like it was very common. It was the British that weren't bathing. They weren't bathing. And it's because there's another misconception of like, oh, they weren't bathing because of like all this stuff, like because they were just gross. They weren't bathing because all of Britain was just really, at the time, gross. They would like throw their shit into the middle of like the street. There's stories of like other people like from different royal empires like coming to visit Britain, and there's just shit in the street. So they were just all very unhygienic. Bathing wasn't really pushed, except for maybe royalty. And even then, wasn't much. For a while, the whole country was just very unhygienic. And then over time it changed. It got a little bit better. Mostly because I actually don't know why it switched up. But obviously they're not throwing shit into the street anymore. And it's a very clean country now. This was very far in the past. I'm not making generalizations about the British now. But yeah, it was... Yeah, that's where the phrase shit-faced, I guess. I didn't know that. Fun fact from Wizard. So yeah, it was... A lot of those myths that you hear about are from the British. That's why I'm not gonna suggest this because it's an inappropriate show. But if you have, in like Queen Charlotte, it's specifically talked about how like she came in and she was really disgusted by a lot of their practices. It was bad because the British were gross. For a while. I think we call it a shame on this time period. So yeah, a lot of those excuses about like the incest thing and like the age gap thing, it still wasn't very normalized. Like especially in like regular families. The only time that type of stuff really happened was like in like royal situations, and like regular people weren't having that really happen much. And even then, it wasn't like as crazy as you think. The cleanliness thing was also not true. People used to be nasty because they didn't wash their clothes much because they were in linen, which they cleaned a lot. Linen was used in... Yeah. It was just... I don't think they smelled great compared to us now because we just have different stuff that like makes us like... We have like a bunch of different things, but they had like different like perfumes then. They had like soap then. They had things to do. It was just really hard for a lot of people to get them because they didn't have the money. And I think that's something that people don't really understand is like every other day citizens were forced to just live in like terrible conditions because the monarchy was awful and didn't take care of them. So they were forced to live in filth. They didn't have a choice. It wasn't their fault. The royals themselves were just living grossly because they could choose to do that, but they did also have access to a bunch of stuff to clean themselves with. Soaps existed, perfumes existed, all this stuff existed. Like they were still able to be clean. It was usually there we go. Little fun fact. Bye, IDK. He says clean as our government allows him to be. I feel like if you had more money, you'd be less grabby everywhere. I'm sure you can say the same for most places, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't like the whole idea in like royal politics, like, oh, I bet they smelled nasty. No! No, they didn't! Also, the reason why the like royalty didn't really take a lot of baths in the first place is because they weren't really doing a lot. They weren't going out in the sun. They were like doing a lot of things indoors. And I don't think that's great, but like people who were working on the streets took a lot more baths. And royalty, one of the things that they did was that like they weren't like taking like straight up baths every single day, but what they were doing is they would like soak rags and they would clean themselves with that, and like regular people would do that as well. So they were still getting kind of washed down every day. Didn't smell great probably still, but they were still like semi-cleaning themselves a little bit. And the baths were saved for special stuff. So yeah. Fun fact with Rosa cooling. I hope I got all of that correct because that was coming off my dome, so I might have been incorrect about a little bit of it, because I'm just like trying to remember it off the top of my head, so prepare for that. But I know the bath stuff for sure is true. And I like to base a lot of my like viewpoints on gods and stuff off of like Greek mythology and like not maybe like royal politics, but yeah. So many historical myths in the world. Wiggles, you and I are just like bonding right now. Misinformation. Me when I've only finished this sketch in like 2 hours. Wow. Newcomers, welcome to the stream where Rosa Cooling gets nothing done because I get distracted and I start talking a lot. Well, Wiggles, if I ever make that royalty stuff, maybe I'll come to you and ask questions. Because I know some stuff, like, more about, like, the political game and stuff like that, and how, like, the public reacts, and, like, another fun fact is, like, that you didn't know probably about royal politics, and I can't say, like, which dynasty this is from, because I don't remember the specifics. It might be British politics, but, like, the royals specifically are kind of, like, seen as, like, celebrities, obviously. They were the celebrities. So a lot of, like, their letters to each other were, like, read through first before they were passing on to other people. And sometimes those letters would even be, like, somehow seen to the public. And everyone would gossip about it. That's how word got around, because those letters would be quote-unquote leaked. So that's why, like, letter writing, you had to be very specific about what you were writing and, like, very careful. Because, like now, with, like, saying the wrong thing in the press, people could take your words and, like, word will travel around and, like, this is what the person said in, like, this letter. And that's why sometimes, royalty would have, like, very, like, they would give it to someone they trusted if it was supposed to be secret, and be like, only deliver this to this person. And even that was a risk, because things could be leaked. So, yeah, they were like celebrities, so like, you knew firsthand if like the royals were having like couple problems. Because like that was what you talked about. Me and Doodle's song is playing in the stream. This is me and Doodle's song, me and Doodler. I love this song. It's so sweet. Yeah, the amount of misinformation about corsets is insane. Oh, there goes that message before I read it, Wizard. I love you, Doodler. Bye, Wizard. Good night. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so like, letters were easily leaked all the time. Like, you couldn't even go like write a letter to like your friend from a like neighboring kingdom, because that shit probably would be leaked if you said something kind of problematic. And then everyone would be talking about it. Everyone would be talking about it, and people would be writing letters in like the newspaper about like the shit you said. It'd be crazy. So yeah, the like every little action about the royals, they didn't get to really see them a lot except like public appearances, so they were going off of everything. They were going off of gossip and stuff. The old age of gossip, exactly. So I remember when I was like writing something with Barnacle, like an old OC story, we had it where like one of my characters specifically was like someone that was not liked in both their kingdom and also other kingdoms, because they were judged a lot. I can't go into specific because it's gonna reveal what fandom like we took the characters from. um, but we took them and we made them better. But it was really hard for them to like write letters to their friend who was like regarded as like a very like important and like prosperous princess, because they weren't really supposed to be talking because a lot of the public would judge it, and then her like their friend would get judgment too, and they had to be really careful with what they said in letters, and they would have to like every time they got mad or they would fight, they would have to clarify over and over and over again, like, you asked me to be honest, so I'm being honest, to make sure that if it got leaked, it was like very apparent that they were only abiding by what the princess said. So that was really fun. The whole roleplay was done through letters. My voice is getting shot. Oh my god, we're gonna have to wrap it up soon. William Rosa class. Yeah! Okay, chat. What do we think about... I like making them look more human. Because they're a bit different from... Do you use this intro in Dreamtale? Do you have the letter drama, the whole kingdom knowing? I don't usually portray Dreamtale as like a royalty environment. You know, I usually see it more as like a fae thing. I have a lot of lore about like god culture. I'm gonna go on a tangent. Prepare. For any Tumblr fans, they already know about a lot of this stuff. But I personally, when I'm really into like Greek gods and like all different types of gods. I love looking into them and stuff like that. But one of the things that I noticed while really being into Greek gods all my life, and gods in general, this does not fit the vibe, is that a lot of the time gods tend to be very animalistic. And I will say, a lot of Greek god stories were written to teach mortals a lesson about stuff, and a lot of the philosophers that were writing it were projecting a lot of their own beliefs onto the stories and the narratives, which is why so many myths are rewritten and there's not really like one solid interpretation, because again, these philosophers are like putting their spin on it and their belief system onto a lot of like these stories. So there's this whole thing with like Aphrodite, of like when Aphrodite was like kind of like changed a little bit up in history, they wanted to kind of make her more like ditzy rather than like, and like cover up her potential like war goddess heritage from older times. So when she was, because a lot of the Greek gods are written when the Romans took over, and Aphrodite was one of these that we assume, because okay, a lot of gods tend to have like old history that we can like nail down, like finding their names in like really old scriptures, but we can't do that with Aphrodite. We only have like theories of like a potential stand-in for her, of like the goddess of love, or there's like two different ones that are also war goddesses. So in rewrites and like the like very older Greek stories where she's a bit ditzy and stuff, and she's like very much like, oh, I'm gonna stay home and I'm just so pretty, it's wondered if like philosophers were writing her that way to erase that history, to like really hammer home that like this debate of like, is she a war goddess, is she not? And they were like, no, she's not. Hi, Lulu! So there is a lot of stuff with that, of like a bunch of things. Yeah! I am quoting overly sarcastic productions. I love them. But one thing that I noticed throughout that, of like the rewrites and all this different types of stuff, is that a lot of these myths that were written as lessons do portray the gods in a more animalistic type of way. And they're supposed to represent mortal desires, but like unhinged, obviously, because gods don't have like the same morality that we do. But I always took it of like these gods are more like, they operate more like animals. a lot of the time animals don't mate for life. That's like really species based. They are typically like they just go and they're with whoever they can, and there's a lot of like gods that will just go and like be with anyone. They typically like are very territorial of like either their ego or their like perceived city that they are like the patron god of. So they have like territorial rights between people and between other gods. They fight brutally, like they fight physically because they can't die. So they will tear each other apart to assert like control and to fight. Yes, if you say that someone is more gorgeous than Aphrodite, she will curse them because she's territorial. A lot of gods are. And they have the right to be because they are obviously gods, so they're above everything. So, they have an ego. And with that, whenever I would analyze them and I would like hear stories, I would be like, these are just like, yes, people typically compare them to like mortal, like children with them throwing tantrums, but I always took it, I was like, no, they have animalistic tendencies. Like, they are operating under the animal kingdom in like multiple aspects. And like all this type of stuff, like they are territorial over their young, they're territorial over like their perceived ego, their like their rights, their power, and all this type of stuff. So I was always like, I feel like the gods deserve to be more portrayed in that light of like they do tend to have animalistic tendencies. Like they are more like animals than they are like children, because they are still very wise, don't get me wrong, but they operate under a completely different morality than we can understand, and it tends to be a lot more violent and brutal, and it's just because they can take it. One of the things in Roseverse that I did like was that Error in Nightmare's relationship is abusive, but it's not because of like our morality. It's abusive because, not because they physically fight or because they like argue, because emotional abuse in God terms probably doesn't even really exist or taken seriously, because like what's that gonna do? You can just like punch the shit out of someone if they insult you, and they're all pretty violent, so they probably jump to that. But when they're physically fighting, I think with gods, like physical fights are just seen as spats. Like you could be tearing each other apart and like it would just be seen as like a friendship fight. Like it wouldn't be taken seriously as something really concerning, as long as both of the gods can fight back. As long as they can both like actually hold their own, and like one isn't more powerful than the other, because like let's say it's like a child god and like a really old god, obviously that's abusive, because there's a power imbalance. That's bad. But if it's like two gods that are like at the same level, they're both fighting, they're on both equal grounds, it's not abuse to them, I don't think. It would be just a spat. It could be a marital spat, it could be whatever. Because they don't think the way that we do. So Nightmare and Error, they're abusive in Roseverse, but not because they're physical with each other. It's abusive because Nightmare doesn't know he's allowed to fight back because of his own abuse, so he doesn't. So it's one-sided. That's why it's abusive when they're teenagers. And obviously Nightmare starts fucking fighting back when they're adults, they square up. But it's abusive because of the power balance and the fact that Nightmare's not fighting back. That's where it becomes a problem. And Nightmare is explicitly in the thick, not fighting back because he thinks he deserves punishment. So there's complexities there, but yeah, that's what I think is considered abusive for you. Why are you beating down someone who's not fighting back? That's not okay. And I think that would be applied to like adults. If it's like a child god, I think at that point the adult gods in the situation would like a dog would like correct a young puppy by like growling at them and biting at them. I think that's what they do to their young. Maybe not that, but like they scold them. Like, maybe physically, because the gods can take it again, it doesn't hurt them as badly. They probably get smacked upside the head, like, and they just have completely different morality, and it's really interesting to dive into and explore. To me, dream and nightmare literally about on vacations. Yeah, I agree. I joined during a deep part of the stream. We've had like silly moments and we've had deep parts of the stream moving. So many little things. But yeah, that's my belief system. So like one of the ideas that I have about it is this is funny. One of the ways that like godly parents don't abandon their children is because the godly child kind of low-key imprints on the parent that's like, or the guardian that's taking care of them, and keeps them like very emotionally tethered and connected to them until they're like maybe like 12 or 13, and at that point they are considered independent by God standards. Because if you didn't know, Apollo was born at like 8 years old, walked up to Zeus and was like, I want this, this, and this, and then he went off to do his own thing. Godly kids aren't really raised normally. They're sometimes born at just like random ages, and they don't really care. They'll just go continue living their life as if they're grown-ass adults as children. So yeah, 12 and 13 is probably like not maturity. I don't like that. I think they would be considered mature at like 18, obviously. Maybe even 21. All that type of stuff. And I think they still do have a childhood, because I think it's interesting being able to like dive into the idea of raising like children that are like godly and like animalistic like that. But yeah, I think that they have to have an imprinting ability in order to keep the godly parents invested in them long enough, and I think it kind of fades away when they're 12 or 13 and they can choose to stay. It gives them a lot of complicated feelings. I don't think a lot of gods want to be parents because of that, because they go from like being completely obsessed and like loving to this child to like suddenly it's gone and they have to like confront that they don't have that strong feeling anymore, but they still care about the kid. So it's like, it's complicated. It's complicated. Shit kid part has been a dumpster fire right now? Really? Oh, the golf thing? Yeah. Yeah, I really like Dust too. Hi, Xander. The goth thing? Yeah. Luckily, I was never into goth, so I haven't dealt with any problems. I was not mourning when that stuff got revealed. That was actually my friend that came forward with that video. Star. I love Star. Yoink. Oh god, sad though. From there, Gotham palette, I don't really care for them. I feel like gods would treat children like they treat, like how kids treat toys. They love a toy until the next one comes along. I agree with that. That's why I added the imprinting thing so they could actually care about them. The kid imprints on them and it makes the parent like hyper fixated on them, so they don't leave and they actually don't keep. Because I also believe that like godly children can technically be killed. They technically can be murdered. So, and it's like because they're so weak still, and you know, they can't really like protect themselves fully because they're not grown into their power. I think they can die before they reach a certain age, whatever that age is, depends on my age, I guess. But they do need, like, they require people taking care of them and raising them and protecting them. So they do need a guardian. What defines a god child if they don't use the stripe system? Probably mentality, and also if they are still continuing to act and present as a child. Because, you know, there's some gods, like the god, like Eros, who, like, presented as a child, like, for a while, and then in like later myths he was like an adult. So there is stuff like that where like some gods do stay as children for whatever reason. You could say that like even though Reaper Tail Frisk isn't a like a god, let's just use them as an example. Like they might just like continue to stay as a like a godchild, and that's completely fine. If they present and they act and they like insist that they are, then yeah, they're considered a child by God's standards. It isn't until they reach adulthood and they present as an adult and they like. I think there's like multiple ways for a god to age. I think a god can age normally. I think it takes maybe like 100 to like I don't know. I don't want to like nail down a number yet because that's really gonna be like solidified, you know. I want to like play around with it a little bit more. But I think god children do have like a certain amount of time in their adolescence until they're an adult, and they live and live and they live, and they can grow up normally like that, and they have that time limit, and then they're an adult, and that's fine. That's their normal process. But there is some godly children that might choose to stay children for whatever reason. Maybe comfort, maybe it fits their godhood better, who knows. So they reach like that limit and they just decide to still continue to present as a child. Not to be weird, but to genuinely just continue to be seen as a child. I think that's how it's seen. It's based on like height, looks, how they act, all that type of stuff. Just like a regular whole thing. I don't think they would really have a system to be able to tell besides like vibes. I don't know. So yeah, that's my viewpoint on it. I do think there's like, I don't know really, and like I've gone back and forth with like ages, and maybe you can help me with this, chat, because I don't like the idea of gods like aging like that in like 2 seconds, because that takes the fun out of it. The fun of raising like a godly kid. I think that's so fun. So how long do you think like adolescence for a child god would be? Like 100 to 200 years? Like what? Because everything's longer, so it has to be like in hundreds, right? But how long would that be? Like Hotel Transylvania. I think an immortal. Yes, I agree with that. I hate Nightmare turns into an adult as soon as corrupted. I don't like that either. I think he should spend like a long time being a like pissed off little kid in the multiverse. Yeah, like 100 years. I've always gone with that too, and like then you would have to break down like the 100 years into like how long it would be for their adolescence. Like how long are they considered a teenager? How long are they considered a preteen? How long are they considered a like? You know, there's a lot of specifics here. I'm trying to get your guys' world building on. This is the stuff you gotta be thinking about for your stories. I think it would have to do with the maturity of the magic they have as well as mental maturity. I agree with that a lot. I think a lot of the time gods would want to be adults if they like have a lot of worship, because power comes from worship, you know? So why would they want to still be a child? But I think if they were still pretty weak, I don't think they would completely want to grow up just yet, because they wouldn't really stand a chance in the Pantheon. I think that would be really scary. So they would continue being kids, like mentally and physically, you know? Should I be taking notes? Yeah, I think you should. Cause like, let's sit down for a second, chat. How would you split up 100 years into like adult, like, you know, like humans have 18 years. How do you split up 100 years fairly? What would you classify? How would you break that up? Would you like do it evenly? Because who knows? Because there's different levels of being, you know, a child. So there's like the infant stage, there's the toddler stage, there's all this type of stuff. Give the gods 180 years. It's true. There we go. Oh, no. Was it? We can't talk about that show here. Maxie! I'm almost positive you're a minor. You should not have watched that show if you have. Rosa Cooling discourages minors watching from that show. This is a public statement. Do not watch that show if you are a minor. For multiple reasons that I hope I don't have to explain on this stream. Is this a pop quiz? Yes. Because yeah, it could be 180 years, but again, it's back to that idea of like, how would you split it up? Would you make it completely even? Because like infant and toddler stages aren't even in like years. Adolescence and like preteen years aren't even to like teenage years. There's like younger, there's like older. Like the numbers in both of these scales are like different like levels, you know what I mean? Because like you're considered an infant for like maybe 2 years. Toddler stage is like 3 to 4, maybe even 5 if you push it. Then it's like 5, 6, and 7, and then 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12. And then there's like that preteen stage of like 10, 11, 12. And then there's teenagehood. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You know, there's like each level of childhood is different lengths. So how do you translate that to wand god lengths? Is like infanthood like considered 10 years? Is it considered like maybe only 3? And then like adolescence, like when you're like a toddler, maybe that's 10 years? And like I'm not like discouraging anyone here. I'm like trying to get y'all thinking because I think it's such an interesting concept and I don't see anybody try to break down these ages. Salem, I miss Salem. Can we get Salem more? I can talk about her in a second if you guys want to hear about her. 10 years for 1 year. I have not watched either rivalry. I'd say 40 years, 20 as child, 20 teen. I have anything kids. Lulu, you also could have come and DM'd me and asked me about Salem. That was an option. You have my contact. We are friends. I'm shaking. Okay, but you said so yeah, that's the fun thing, and that's also what's hard. Like, how do you like nail down like what is considered like childhood for gods, or, like with the years? Because then it gets really complicated. I've broken it down before. I have it actually in a doc. Shall I read that for you guys, and then I can talk about Salem, and that'll be the last thing I talk about today because my throat's dying. Shall I read my breakdown of god ages, perhaps, if I have it written down? Would you guys be interested? Alright, let me grab. Let's see. So I think it's pretty similar to my skeleton age system. So I'm gonna like go off of that a little bit. Because I've talked about my skeletal age system a little bit, but I haven't gone into too much detail. So let me pull this up. I think it's around the same though. And I might like change it up if like I'm having the skeletal age system and I'm having the god system in the same multiverse, but this is general my idea. So I think that like godly children are usually like children for like maybe 260 years, maybe 50. So if we basically like compare it to like human age in like the whole entire like average age milestone, I think that like 1 to 6 years old, like 6 years is like toddler stage, and then like, you know, 7 to 14 is pubescent, 15 to 30 is preteens, 31 to 60 is teenagehood, 61 to 120 is young adulthood. And then it continues on. Sometimes it takes gods longer to grow up, etc., etc. And I think they have different classifications. So yeah. Salem lore. Do I have Salem in here? To show. Yes, I do. There she is. Salem! For anyone who doesn't know who Salem Darling is, Salem is my Aramir ship kid that I've had for years. I love her so much. I'm maternal over her. She is like my daughter. I love her so dearly. Doodler loves her so dearly. So the current lore I have for her is that, and we have to start with Era and Nightmare shit first, right? So Era and Nightmare did genuinely want a kid. They did. And content warning for like miscarriages and like stuff like that, because this is gonna get a little bit heavy for a second. They wanted to have a kid. They did genuinely want to, and in Salem's multiverse, there's 2 different ways to have a kid. There's through like soul, like magic combination, and like they host the souling in their soul. Like there's a host, and it like grows in there, and then it gets extracted when it's old enough to be able to be extracted, and then the body forms around it. That's how I see monster birth. I think it's like that for everything. I don't think it's just exclusive to skeletons. I think all monsters do this. I think Azrael went through the same process. Because they're not humans. They're gonna have different stuff to us. They're not mammals. So I think that's how it is. And I think that's also why monster population is so little, despite being underground for so long, that we see in the game at least, because it's really hard to have children, especially in the extraction process, because a lot can go wrong. If the healers aren't good, if they make a mistake, it could kill the kid. It could kill the soul. And it could be really bad, especially since monster souls are so fragile. So there's already some problems and some difficulties with having a soul. There's already fears. But, they really want some. And then there's also, if you're like in a fight with someone that you're dating and that you're with and that like you love, it could be like PJ. Like the kid just pops up from magic combos and stuff like that. That's a lot more rare. It doesn't happen a lot. And I think that, and like I had this with Doodler, I talked about this, there has to be intent. There has to be intent. A child's not gonna just happen randomly without there being like intent with the souling. Like you can't have accidental soulings. You have to like, combine the magic on purpose, no matter how you want to do it, in order to have the child, in order for the souling to form. With magic stuff, it can happen accidentally, but there has to be pre-existing like love for each other, like all this type of stuff. Monsters are not made from like just like toxic relationships. A soul will not form like that. I don't believe so, because monsters are such kind beings. There has to be genuine love from throughout the characters for it to happen. And that's how the drink kid in the multiverse happened. She was an accident technically, from magic fighting. So with Salem, Nightmare and Era did want a child, but there was already an issue of hosting the soul because both Nightmare and Era have very unstable magic. Nightmare isn't really even considered fully a monster, and Era's soul is very broken. It's very glitchy, and they don't really have a lot to work with. They already struggle, but they wanted a kid very badly, and so they kept trying. And they would sometimes get soulings. Like, they chose Era to be the one to host the soul because he has the most stable soul. Nightmare's soul is just so filled with corruption it would probably immediately die. But the problem was, the soulings kept dying. They wouldn't make it very far. They were very, very tiny, and they would just fizzle out. They wouldn't make it. And it became a thing where both Nightmare and Era just got very depressed and blamed themselves for it not working, and they just really were just upset, which caused problems in their relationship. And it did end up with them breaking up in separating and leaving each other because they kept fighting. They were just very upset and filled with grief and taking it out on each other. So they did break up for a bit. The problem was, well, not really the problem. That's what the little souling needed. There was actually a souling being formed in air when he left, and through his grief and his misery, the souling managed to get past like the beginning stages and feed off of his like depression from like leaving Nightmare and being alone. And it was able to actually get a little healthy. And then he noticed it one day and was like, oh fuck, it's there, and it's actually like, it's not dying, it's not weak, it's actually like pretty fully formed, and this is a problem because now we're broken up and I don't know what to do. So he did have to go and talk to Nightmare and had to be like, so it worked when we're not speaking and there's a lot of problems in our relationship. Yeah, the souling was only able to form because they were fighting, because there was so much negativity to feed off of that. The other soulings died because they loved each other so much. Ruh-roh! That this souling was able to live. And so Air goes back. Luckily this souling was very strong, so Air did kind of stay with Nightmare for a bit, to like, you know, eventually prepare for when the extraction process needed to happen. And they were slowly kind of getting back together. Like, they still loved each other. They stopped, like, being with each other because they were just so upset. But they finally got what they wanted. So they did start to, like, get close again. And, like, they were really excited. And they did end up getting back together, when Salem was extracted. And Salem luckily lived. Salem was okay. And the reason why she lived was because they were still fighting and they weren't back together. They only were able to really fully get back together when she was born. So that was the creation of Salem. And how she came to be, my little baby. She was their rainbow baby. She's their rainbow baby, and they loved her so much. So Salem's personality and a lot of her story was, Nightmare and Air do not tell her what their jobs are. They don't tell her what the bad Santas are. She has no idea. She doesn't know. She has no idea. She lives most of her childhood, like, until she's like, what was the age? I think it was 12 or 13? She lives most of her childhood in the castle, not being able to leave, with her only, like, friends being, like, the bad Santas, not knowing what they do for work. Her belief of what they do is really funny. She thinks Killer's unemployed. She thinks Orr is a professional chef. I forget what she thinks Dust is. I think a scientist. She thinks Air owns like a shop where he crochets and makes things for people. And I think she thought, I might change this, but I think she thought that like Nightmare does therapy. She thinks that he's a therapist. Like, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She's completely clueless, and it's because they love her and they don't ever want her to know what they do for work. They want to keep her innocent, and they want to keep her safe. They don't want anyone to know that they have her because that's a threat to them. She is exactly like Rapunzel, yes. She is an absolute sweetheart too. Like, genuinely, Nightmare and Air have multiple nights where they stare off into the distance wondering how the fuck they got such a kind-hearted daughter. And every time Nightmare looks at her, sometimes he sees Dream. Because she's genuinely so kind. And she's so sweet. She's very fearful. She's very anxious. She's very codependent to her parents, obviously, because that's all she knows. She's not mean. She's just, I don't know how else to express it besides that she's just a very sweet child. And when she's around 12 to 13, though, this is where we're getting back into angst, guys, sorry. She does sneak out one day and follows her parents and sees what they do for work. And her viewpoint is completely shattered. Because she's so anxious, she automatically thinks that, like, oh my god, like, my parents are horrible people. Like, what if I was only made to be used as a weapon? Like, what if I was only made to be, like, what if they've been, like, waiting for when I get stronger? Because they looked so terrifying and they hurt so many people. Like, how could they do this? They lied to me. She gets terrified. And so she runs away. She runs away and she ends up running into Dream, and Dream finds out that she exists. Meanwhile, keep in mind, Drink has their own kid, B, that's the same age as Salem. Like, very, very close. And so Dream takes her back to the Mega Timeline, and she stays there for like a year. And she's miserable. She's so sad. She misses her parents. She's meeting people, but she's so anxious. She feels like she was, like, completely betrayed. And she's so sad she didn't even know that Dream existed. She didn't know she had, like, an uncle. She didn't know she had, a cousin, which I will give Nightmare Era this. They didn't fucking know that B existed either. So, you know, they weren't trying to hide her from that. But her best friend does become B. And B's really mean, but, like, in a mean girl, like, they'll see the quiet kid and they'll be like, you're my best friend now, but she's kind of rude and she's kind of mean, but she means well and she's really sweet and she protects Salem. So there is that too. But she misses her parents. And meanwhile, on Era and Nightmare's End, they are so upset. They are so depressed because they don't know where she went. They don't know, like, where, like, they can kind of sense she's still alive because of negativity imprints, but they are so desperate to find her. They are so upset and they're miserable. And Nightmare eventually, like, goes to Dream and grovels, and it's just like, do you know where she is? Like, please tell me where she is. Like, I'm coming clean about who she is. Like, I need her back. Like, I don't know where my daughter is and I need your help trying to find her. And Dream is like, oh shit. So actually, she's at my house. And she's been here for a while. I thought you guys were abusive because of the way she was acting. I didn't know. So Salem is given back, not like immediately, like she does like those like little meetings with Air and Nightmare because she doesn't trust them. And she doesn't trust them saying that they love her because of what she saw and how she was lied to. But she does eventually move back in with them when she's around like 14. And it's very tense in the castle for a bit. Like, she's not super close with them for a while. Like, they really are really desperate to get her back, but she's just like, there's distance now. And she's able to leave the castle now, and so she does a lot. She's just not as close with them, and it's like really upsetting for them. One of the things that does get her closer with them, though, like, you know, is just her finding out more and more about, like, why she came to be, who she is, and she finds out that she is Air's rainbow baby. And that's a big moment for her of finding that out, because she didn't know. They didn't tell her. And realizing how much grief that they had to go through and how, like, they could never really have another kid because it would take so much just, like, work. There would be so many losses. There would be, like, all this stuff. They could only have her, and they obviously want a bigger family, but they can't really do it. Her finding that out does help her a little bit. She's still upset, and she does eventually move out when she's an adult. She's still very anxious, and she has to, like, deal with being independent, but she does eventually get a relationship with them. And they are very happy, and they're very content. She just needs to be, like, independent, and B helps her a lot with that. So yeah, that's Salem. That's Salem's lore. I wanted to make an Airmare Kid where it was obviously going to be angsty, but like Nightmare and Error weren't necessarily like bad parents because they were like abusive. They were bad parents because they sheltered her too much, and I feel like that's pretty appropriate for like Fan and Nightmare. I feel like he would still mess up, but it would be because he doesn't want the same thing to happen that like happened to him when he was a kid, so he overcompensates. So he does that. Yeah, that's Salem's lore. B's lore is a lot less fleshed out. B is the drink kid in that multiverse. Again, she was born as an accident when like Dream and Ink were only dating for like a month. And they still loved her. They stayed together and they raised her, and she's a little bit evil, but like not genuinely. Like she's just kind of like I don't want to say she's bitchy because that's not true. But she's very like she doesn't really think things through before she says stuff. Like kind of like Ink, very blunt, a bit like low empathy. And so she tends to come off a bit mean and a bit cruel. She would be the type of kid at the playground to be like, well, my dad's fucking protect the multiverse. And she would say like the F word. She'd be like, well, my dad's fucking protects the multiverse, so you need to be nice to me and you need to leave me alone. Like, she would say that shit. And so when she meets, Salem when they're like teenagers, or I guess like preteens, you know, she basically protects Salem from the anxiety world and like teaches Salem to get out of her shell. But she's also really, she's still kind of mean. Not purposely. She's very, like, she does mean well. But she would be the type of kid to be like, do you ever notice that, like, whenever, like, you're really, really anxious, you actually, like, scratch at your hand, and I think it's actually really weird. I think you should stop that. Just to let you know. And in her head, she's like, oh, I'm helping her, like, be social. I'm helping her with social cues. And then Salem's just sitting there being like, oh. That's the type of person she is. But she means well. She means well. And then B's whole storyline when she gets older is that she tries to be really independent when she's 18 because she's always been pretty independent, and she actually ends up falling flat on her face as an adult, and she moves back home and she has to learn how to accept help and not be afraid of it. So it's like Salem and B have like opposite stories. Like Salem has to be independent, B has to learn how to accept help and not be hyper independent. I do have designs for both Salem and B on my Tumblr. So if you are interested, you can go see. Oh, wait, I actually might have it right here. Yeah, I do. Never mind. It's right here.
Why don't you just pull in mother?
There she is. Ah! Trying to move it down, but it's not wanting to. Okay, yeah. This is her. This is an older design, but yeah, this is her. Is B like Glinda? I feel like she's not like as like fake as like Glinda. Like she's very openly blunt. But yeah, that's her. And then this is Salem. Not her full design. I don't know why it's cut off like that, but yeah. B doesn't really hide like her bitchiness. I guess that's bitchiness. Her mean girlness, like Glenda tries. And like Dream and Ink have to wrestle with the fact that they do have a mean ass daughter. But they love her. They love her. They deserve to have like a little mean daughter. You think of that one comment? Because Dream actually likes his daughter in this. Because And all the content of Lux and Dream. Dream is so freaking like blunt and like apathetic to Lux. I do think that Dream probably has a lot of like postpartum depression for a little bit because it's very sudden, and it would scare him. Yeah, she's sassy. But yeah, I wanted to make like really sweet Aramare daughter because I think it's really humbling for Air and Nightmare to have like a really sweet and kind daughter compared to having like a mean one. And like no diss to like the other Aramare kids who are like power hungry, I completely get it. I think it's just funny to give them like the sweetest girl in existence that has no clue of what they do and like loves them for them and thinks that they are like so sweet because it makes them feel bad about the shit that they do. It's just funny. Music's a little loud. Well, why didn't you say it sooner? I'm about to end stream, Void. I can't see any of the Sims as not being girl dads. So that's also why that they only have girls. Thank you, Void. God, you're so mean. I'm sorry. Good night, Pastel. I will probably be ending the live right now because my throat's getting shot and I have been live for almost 3 hours. Should I try to get to that 3-hour mark so I can feel really cool and just like finish off and chat a little bit? Any last minute questions so we can get to that 3-hour mark? I missed 3 hours ago. You did! I've been live forever. I'm not going to bed yet, guys. Unless there's no questions. Salem happiness win. She gets happy. She is happy when she's a kid. Will we ever have another fic on Salem or any content on her? I want to. I really do. 7 minutes until 3 hours. I really want to make another fic of Salem because the other one is so old. It's so old. I can't reread that shit. It's so bad. I've made a little bit of content of Salem and Air. My interpretation of Aramare is still consistent in Salem's multiverse, I should say. Air calls the shots. That's all I'm gonna say. Will there be any more FTFO reading live streams? No. Sorry. I've thought about it, but I just don't have the time to do it. And also, like, I don't know if I could survive reading them by myself. Because again, I don't want to bring any more people on my lives. I don't know if I can, like, power through it. I think I would die. Do you know Myth and Machine? I have friends that are into it. I'm not personally into it. Actually, what is it called? The very popular dub of it. I don't remember what the channel's called. But I do know people on there that dub for it. One of them is a fan of me. I don't know what the channel's called. Sorry. The most popular dub of it, I know some people on there. Not like super close, but I know them. Bro, how do you find the motivation to write? I've been putting off writing for 2 months. Aramare? Aramare. The Aramare in my AU is doomed. That's completely fair. It's the best when it's doomed. I do want to apologize in advance. I think I accidentally made Inky Will Crow consider drawing angst. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I tried to stop her, and Dealer got very mad at us. But that angst is probably going to be made after art fight, and it might be my fault. It might be my fault. Okay, well, she asked me, and she's not gonna watch my stream, but she asked me, like, what do you think would break up Aramare? And I told her, I'm not gonna say what I said. I told her, not thinking anything of it, and then she was like, well, now I want to draw. And I was like, oh! I didn't know that this was gonna happen. Doodler got very mad at us, and it was very scary. I have had too much trouble this year. Sapphire Studios? Yes! Yes, that sounds right. Yeah. Yeah. I need evidence to persecute. No! Her stuff is so peak. I love Inky. Heart Inky. Heart Inky Wokro. IDK, go rest. I'm gonna be ending the live in like 4 minutes. It's completely fine. You won't be missing anything big. I guess quick summary, like, to hit all the bases. Roseverse is on hiatus. I'm working on a different verse to kind of help my vibes. I'm working on Dreamtale specifically. I might make a fantasy AU, who knows? I'm going to make a Tumblr that's just word vomit of ideas and like concepts and stuff, so if you want to see that, then follow that. I don't know. I don't know. Everyone should go check out Lulu's verse. Guys, everyone should go to Lulu channel right now and go watch her videos. Everyone should do that. I think everyone would really like it. If you like Roseverse, you would really like Lulu's stuff. Oh my god, I have to let my dog out. Give me a second. My mom got home, so I had to let him out of my room. Everyone go watch Lulu's stuff. Lulu's stuff is so good. I'm so excited to see where her AU goes. I love the dynamics in there. I love the world building. I love it all. It's so good. It's so good. If you like Rosebush, you'll love that. Ink and Air are brothers in that. Aramare is canon in it. I think Drink was recently made canon in it. Yeah, you guys will love it. It's so good. You just click Lulu's account and you should be able to go and look. Write the Aramare chapter, write it. Lulu, if you need writing advice or you need motivation advice, come to my DMs after stream and I'll answer for you. Yeah, and Dream has wings. Dream has wings in it. It's so cool. And Cross with a little baby. And also it's Bad Sans' family dynamic. It's so good. It's so good. They're so cute, and it makes me giddy every time because Lulu's whenever she's mentioning something that she got from me, because some of her ideas are inspired by me, she'll be like, everyone thank Rosa, cooling Rosa for this idea, and I'm giggling, I'm like, ha, we're friends. It's so sweet. And Lulu has a very calming voice, so if you like to listen to my voice when I yap, you'll really like listening to Lulu's voice. Lulu should go live again. Lulu, we should collab on your channel. Because I don't do collabs on my channel anymore, really. But we should collab on your channel. I'll go to your channel. I'll show up. That'll be fun, right? Yes! We should go live on Lulu's channel and talk. I don't know what we would talk about, but we talk about something. We figured out. We talk about stuff. Airmare, true. I feel like I need to get Inky on the live for that. Inky needs to start a live stream. We get all the Airmare people ever. Lulu, Inky, me. We show up and we make content and we talk about Airmare, different interpretations of Airmare. Airmare live stream. Inky might be down. We could do it, Lulu. I could convince her. Trust, I could bribe her. Airmare live stream on Lulu's channel? Question mark. We hit 3 hours! Yay! Alright, guys. I'm gonna head off. If you have any further questions, don't be afraid to go to my Tumblr and send me ass. I love getting ass, even though I take forever to answer them. I will answer them eventually. Yeah. Thank you for sticking around. I didn't get much done, but and nothing ever really gets done in the Rosa cooling streams, do they? I just sit here and I yap. And I yap. But this was so much fun. Everyone sleep well or have a good day. Thank you for being here.